Hi then guys, welcome back to another episode of Cat Meets. Today I'm super excited for this episode. It's for a little Japanese hot hatch, something very, very rare to see out at showgrounds, let alone on the road. This one is a daily driver for Mark. It's a little Honda Civic CRX Mk1. It is an absolute weapon. Such a cool little car. I had such fun going over there to meet Mark, so we had an absolutely wicked morning out there filming with him. As you can see, the bonnet is popped on Cat, so there's still a few little bits going on with her to try and get her ready for December to get her retaxed and out there for a few meets and some more Cat Meets filming. So I did take the TIE Fighter, my little CRZ, which actually was fairly fitting for today's video, as it is sort of the modern equivalent. So let's get on, let's meet Mark, absolute legend, a really nice fella, and have a look over his wicked little CRX.
You can't really choose which one I love more in, the Mark 1 or the Mark 2.
That is retro to the max, isn't it? That is awesome.
Yeah.
They are full of character.
Exactly, yeah. Either that or I'm mental.
Either that or he's mental. Right then guys, made it to Swindon to come and see this absolutely incredible CRX. And this one's actually a little bit of a rare beast in the fact that it's a Mark 1. Today we're here with Mark, who's got a Mark 1 and a Mark 2 CRX. We're going to have a look around his Mark 1 today. So we're just going to have a little chat with Mark about his history, the sort of things that he's had. So Mark, what did you start off with?
Started off with minis. Yeah, always had minis for years. I've had Mark 1 minis, racing engine minis, mini cabriolets, just sort of cut my teeth on minis really. And
can you remember your very first mini?
Yeah, it only lasted about 3 months before I wrapped it around a lamppost, and then I went on to a Mark 1 mini. That was an 850 auto originally, but we put a 1 litre manual in it. That was good fun. Yeah, just slowly developed minis and then moved on to CRXs later on really.
Yeah. You say your dad's helped you, or
yeah, he was
starting off?
He was a car mechanic, so
yeah, nice.
Grew up sort of being his MOT tester and things like that, you know, pumping the brakes and just doing the normal sort of weekend car stuff really. So yeah, I've always been into cars all my life really. So,
can you remember any of your dad's cars when you were a kid?
Mark Ford Cortina.
Nice.
With a 2.1 Pinto in it, that was good fun. That was really quick. Helped to build the engine for that when I was a kid. That was like a Honda mechanic. At one stage, and there used to be a CRX challenge, like a nationwide racing challenge just for CRXs back in, I think it was late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And I used to go around the country with him as well. He was like the mechanic of the CRX.
That's really cool.
And I used to get lots of hospitality, lots of wine and food, and, and be in the paddock with all the CRXs. They used to go out on the track and absolutely nail them to pieces, and then they'd come back into the paddock and they'd just tick over nicely as if they'd done nothing. You know, just a brilliant Honda engineering really. Didn't trouble the cars at all. You know, the racing. You know, that's a bit of my history about CRXs. Really. Grew up with them really.
There's a massive JDM tuning scene of all sorts of cars, isn't there? I mean, they've got this reliability side, but then they churn out some cars which can handle some pretty mental power. Yeah,
indeed, all the Skylines and Supras and all that sort of thing, but they're absolutely crazy money now to buy. You know, a few years ago they weren't, but you know, I've had an S2000. That was good fun, but scary, especially in the wet. I was going to kill myself basically if I kept that. I'm much better with front wheel drive.
Cool looking cars they are.
It was a good car in a straight line.
So with the S2000 then, was that before you got into your own CRXs?
No, I had my Mark 2 CRX. Drove it for 5 years, and then it got a bit tired. I put it away. Got an S2000, but had it for a couple of years, but never really felt the love for it really, to be honest.
Fair enough.
And then sold it. Got my Mark 2 back on the road and used my Mark 2. 5 years ago I bought the Mark 1, and I've been using that pretty much as a daily for the last 5 years. Which is a bit crazy, but
it's good going. That is really good going.
It's a bit mad, but you know.
It's funny you say about the S2000 you're not really clicking with it, because it seems to be a classic car thing. I think there's a soul in older cars, and it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I mean, it was clinical almost, the S2000. It was
amazing, I'm sure, but
fast and comfy, and it did everything. It never went wrong. It was reliable again. Didn't have any character.
Probably harks back to your Mini days when you.
Yeah.
They are full of character.
Exactly. Yeah. I will probably swap the two cars over next year.
Yeah.
Put the Mark 1 into hibernation for a few years and bring the Mark 2 back out. I'm building an engine for it at the moment. A V18 C6 with some high comp pistons and a few fancy bits inside it.
Yeah.
So get that engine built, get it in the Mark 2, get it on the road for a few years. And no plans to sell either of them really. I can't really choose which one I love more in, the Mark 1 or the Mark 2. I think the Mark 1's got more character.
Yeah.
But the Mark 2 is a better car really, if I'm honest.
This one you picked up, you said off the owners club. Someone just offered it up. It was
pretty much, yeah. A lady just put an advert, no pictures, just a brief description. I knew what it was and I knew the price was fair, so I just said, "Can I give you a deposit, pick it up at the weekend?" Basically,
yeah.
It turned out to be quite good.
Yeah.
She was only the second owner of the car, so I'm only the third owner. It's done a lot of miles and it had been used.
Yeah.
But it spent a lot of his life in the south of France. So that's why I think it's survived, really.
Yeah. It's one of those situations where you've just got to jump on, haven't you?
Yeah, I just literally...
Quite a few years ago they would have been rare, but now they are.
Yeah, I mean, I did the right thing, but, probably annoyed a few people on the forum where I just waded in and said, I'll take it.
Here's my money!
Yeah, basically. I mean, it had its faults, it wasn't perfect. It run into the ground a little bit, with no money spent on it. 30-year-old plastic, basically, so you just have to find better ones second hand. You just scour the eBay and all the usual sort of places really, and just buy parts.
You've got quite a few parts for this from abroad, haven't you?
Yeah. The sunroof panel had to come from America, from one of the Sunshine States where they haven't got the rest. And the spoiler came from America. Roof spoiler came from Japan, I think it was.
Yeah.
They're rare in this country, and if you want the bits, you have to pay for it, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. What a machine. So we've met up with Mark, we've had a little look at this car. I've chucked up a few clips already. We're going to go for a little drive, find some more photographic places, and we'll have a little look in the engine bay and in the interior, because Mark's done a few bits and pieces in there as well, which make it very, very cool. So we'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Hello guys, we've found another absolutely awesome spot to have a few pictures and talk around the CRX. So the CRX, it's just wicked. It's so cool following it down the road. It's a proper retro wagon, a hot hatch of the era, and Mark pulled away from the lights and it's actually pretty fast. We'll have a little ride in it in a minute as well. It's absolutely looking brilliant. And one thing which caught my eye was these pinstripes. You say you did those. You've done those yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, just 3 separate pinstripes, just laid on masking tape and run down the side of the car. Yeah.
But it looks really, really good. I mean, the job's been done well, but also in terms of the colours and stuff, it just looks like it's supposed to be there. It looks absolutely wicked.
Thank you.
And then some of the other bits and pieces that you've mentioned, mud flaps.
Yeah, they're from the F1 edition. They only made 400 of them in Japan. Managed to get a set of rear flaps for it.
Yeah, nice.
It's got the high level rear spoiler that came from Canada. The side lights on the corners from America. The rear spoilers an American one as well. Just slightly different fitment. It's got the wind deflectors on it around the windows as well. It's quite a rare option.
Things like that. It's literally just trim levels and stuff in different countries.
Exactly. Yeah.
Had different bits, didn't
Yeah. I just picked the bits that I like from different countries and whacked them on basically.
Yeah.
Basically, it's pretty much how I want it to be.
As you want it. Yeah.
Maybe I should get some different wheels. They're not period correct. They're a bit later. They're raised Vesta Sprints, and they're probably more 90s than 80s. But some of the Mugen wheels, the original Mugen wheels, are pretty ugly, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the CF48 really are the ones that probably suit the car the best. So I may try and get a set of them in the future. But they go for big money now.
There's just touching up bits, isn't there? I mean,
it's a sort of, I call it a 10-foot car. You know,
yeah.
Stand away from it for 10 foot and it doesn't look too bad if you start poking around.
It looks awesome.
If you start getting too close to it, you can see the windscreen's delaminating and there's rust bubbling here and there, but you know, just make the best of it really. Just
I mean, it's
keep on top of it.
It's an oldish Japanese car, so there's going to be
Yeah.
if there's not rust bubbles, then
I mean,
I question its authenticity.
Yeah, I mean the arches haven't been touched, and it's nice. So I mean,
you
know, just sort of touch them up here and there, but there's still the original metal in there.
Yeah.
So one day I'll have to bite the bullet and cut it out and weld some new metal in, but for the time being,
It's good.
Yeah.
I seem to say it on pretty much every one of my videos, is just the fact that we are so overcritical of our work, our own cars, and I think Mark's in that sort of bracket as well. I think you know all of the foibles, all the very small details which aren't quite right, but for me, coming to see it and seeing your enthusiasm for it and looking around the car, it's really nice condition.
Yeah, I mean it's just an ongoing project really. Like to do what I can when I can really.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way.
Life
job,
gets in the way.
families, money.
Hence why I'm in the CRZ rather than the Capri today. Although it's quite fitting for today's video.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's absolutely wicked. So we're going to have a little blast, go and find some more cool photo places, and we'll have a little look around the engine and the inside of this absolute machine. Alright then guys, we've got to another one. We're just having a little look over the engine. We've been chatting already a bit too much off camera. But this is the engine bay of CRX. A lovely little motor. And we were just saying it's a cracking little engine, a really well made little Honda engine, and so you haven't had to do masses to it, really?
No, not really, no, just general servicing, cam mount, water pump and a tensioner.
Yeah.
Put a twin cam cover on it just to freshen up the engine bay.
Yeah.
Plenty of degreaser and just give it a good scrub really. That's all I've done under there.
How many miles did you say you bought the car on?
It was on about 160,000 when I bought it. It's on about 170,000 now, so it's a very...
It was already a highish mileage.
Yeah. Two owners before me have just used it quite a lot, I think.
Yeah.
I still use it now, but it just keeps going, and it's a bit tired, but you know, until something goes wrong with it, there's not much point taking it out really.
Yeah, that's it. But it's like 130 odd brake.
Yeah, 130.
You got 0 to 60 in like 8 seconds, 8.3, wasn't it? You said.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a really rapid little car, and a cracking little engine.
Yeah, in this day it was pretty good for this class. It was a good car. Yeah.
So realistically, in the future of this engine, you're saying there's not masses of mods coming. It's just the fact you wanted to get a bit of a rebuild done.
Yeah,
keep the thing going.
Just to refresh it really.
Yeah.
Maybe a rebore, just new bearings on the crank if it needs, and recondition the head, put new valve guides in, and just to refresh it really.
Yeah.
No
I guess being up 170,000 miles already, it will be in need of something a look over, won't it?
It's a bit of a smoker, you know.
Yeah.
It's got some miles on it, but it keeps going, so keep putting oil in it.
Yeah.
And, it's fine.
Yeah. It pulls fairly well away from me in my little hybrid. So we're going to have a little jump in and have a little drive, have a little look at the interior, and see how this car goes. So a little bit of a side note here. We went out for a little drive, and just with me in the passenger seat makes the rear tyre rub the arch. That's the little grinding you can hear. Something Mark was a little bit conscious of, but one of those things is driving a classic, especially on some aftermarket wheels. But hope you're enjoying the video so far. Catch you in a bit. Right, we're in the CRZ, and no, we're not. We're in the CRX, believe it or not. And the back seats in here are very similar to the CRZ in terms of space. There's really not a lot of it. It's a 2+2 at best. But up here, there's loads and loads of room. It feels, and again, it's very similar to the CRZ in that there's lots of room for us, isn't there? It's a comfortable place to be sat for a small hot hatch. It's a bit of a period Honda thing, isn't it? This kind of the top of the seat going in.
Yeah.
So you've got these kind of bolsters down the bottom, and then it goes up thinner towards the top, and they're all deckled up with the CRX logo. So they're looking really good, and it's really smart. I mean, it's really nice condition for especially such a high mileage car, isn't it? The seats, bolsters and stuff.
Yeah, not bad.
Is this all original?
Yeah.
This all came with the car?
Exactly, yeah. Nothing changed in here really, no, apart from the dash.
Apart from the dash, we'll get onto the dash. Previous owners were looking after it pretty well.
Yeah, like I say,
judging by the condition.
It was two lady owners before me, and I don't think they've. I think it's been looked after inside. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's absolutely awesome. Same, we had a small stint with a Honda Prelude, and this kind of period dash. Over here and stuff, it harks back to that as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool, really retro looking. machine. Original stereo.
Yeah.
And you've got some original music in here too, haven't you?
I have the
tape deck and all.
Go through that if you want.
So just talk us through the dash a little bit, because that's slightly different to the original, isn't it?
Yeah, this came from a Japanese import. I had to source it from Japan.
Yeah.
It's an original optional extra in Japan, digital dash. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. I mean, that is retro to the max, isn't it? That is awesome. Yeah. And you were saying earlier about the fact that the dash was, the actual surroundings was all slightly different, wasn't it, to the original?
Yeah, the binnacle or the surround that it sits in is different than the UK spec one. And when it came, it was in pieces basically. So I've had to plastic weld a few different cowlings together to make it work, and it's yeah, it's not too bad, but it's not quite right. But can't get the surround for it. That's the trouble.
So it's only when you're saying and pointing out you can see the bits on it, but it looks really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Just spending a bit of time chatting through this car with Mark is just he's doing very similar sort of things to me and the Capri. It's just little tweaks here and there, things that you want in the car, how you want to do them. You do them yourself. You try and source parts from where you can, don't you? And it's just brilliant. It's yeah, a real machine. Testament to the amount of time and effort that you've put into it.
Oh, cheers.
In how it's looking, and it's your daily driver, so this thing's on the road all year.
Yeah, and I haven't got a garage either, which is a bit of a pain. So
yeah, your garage was converted into a workshop now.
Yeah.
So he's actually got an engine for the other CRX, and he's got that in his house. So there's a big engine rebuild going on for that car as well. I'd love to catch up with Mark at some point in the future with when the Mark II's on the road and have a little look over that. That'd be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I absolutely love this car. I think it's fantastic. And as I was saying earlier, how rare it is to see them out and about. That I can't actually remember the last time I saw one. It must have been literally Classic Car Show in the NEC or something like that, you know, because you just don't see them out. So the fact that Mark's got this thing in the condition that it's in and on the road as a daily driver is just fantastic. Keeping these things going is just wicked, absolutely wicked.
Either that or mental.
Either that or he's mental. Alright then guys, that's a nice blast in the little CRX, and a massive thanks to Mark for bringing the car out. It's an absolutely amazing car. I've absolutely loved having a look around it. I'm going to catch up with you in a moment with a little outro, but for now it's goodbye to Mark and this lovely little CRX. Cheers everybody! So that is Cat Meets Betsey, the little Mark 1 CRX. Absolutely wicked car, such a retro wagon, I absolutely love it, so cool. And also Mark, what a legend. He's really, really nice fella. He's got a wealth of knowledge about car enthusiasm, but also the CRX is just from his past, sort of doing the racing and stuff with his dad way back when. So it's absolutely cracking meeting up with Mark. A massive shout out and thanks so much for coming out, for filming with me, for putting up with me for the morning, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. There is another Cat Meets episode the 5th of December on a Lada Niva, which is absolutely wicked, and a couple more that I've got penciled in to go out filming as well. So just lastly, you can see bonnet is popped on Cat, a few bits going on. I'm filming at the moment a few different videos of the work that I'm doing, but they're coming through quite bitty, so once I've got those all compiled, they'll be up on my YouTube channel. So loads of bits and pieces coming. Social media, Instagram and Facebook, links in the description below. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure you stay up to date with all the future uploads. It's been great having you along. Hope you enjoyed this video and hopefully catch you on a future episode. Until next time, drive safe.